risk also. So various kind of regulatory risk will not be there. Then attract ESG focused investment. So another various important ESG importance of ESG is that ESG focused fund invest in the companies which are ESG compliant or which are focusing on ESG. Next is promote sustainable growth. So companies which are following ESG metrics, which are reporting under ESG, which are paying attention to ESG, they promote sustainable growth of their business. So enhancing the brand reputation and stakeholder trust, then mitigate regulatory and reputational damage risk, then attract ESG focused investment, and next is promote sustainable growth. The importance of ESG is growing, driven by increasing stakeholder expectation, regulatory changes, and the global focus on sustainability. By understanding ESG, you will gain insight into how companies create long-term value while addressing environmental and social challenges. So this is why ESG matter in the organizations due to these importance. Now sustainability. So you must have heard ESG and sustainability interchangeably, though they are not interchangeable words, they are not interchangeable concept, they are not same, they are different, right? So ESG is different. ESG is a reporting framework, and sustainability is different. Sustainability is a concept, a wider term, right? So understanding ESG without understanding the sustainability is not complete. So we need to understand sustainability also. What is sustainability all about? We need to understand it. We also need to study the topic sustainability, which is getting huge momentum since there is no planet B. Do we have planet B? No, we only have one planet. So since we don't have planet B option available to us, we need to make this planet more sustainable. Yeah. So sustainability means ability to sustain. What is sustainability? Sustainability is meeting today's needs without compromising with ability of future generation to meet their needs. So we are fulfilling our needs, and whatever resources are available, we are using those resources properly, but we are not wasting any resources, and we are keeping those resources reserved for our future generation so that our future generation can also use those resources for their own use. So what is sustainability? Let us understand now once again. Sustainability is meeting today's needs without compromising with ability of future generations to meet their needs. Right? This is sustainability. Sustainability is a condition under which humans and nature can exist in productive harmony to support present and future generation. So sustainability is what? Sustainability is a condition where we as a human and nature both can coexist in productive harmony. Next is sustainability is a transition from standalone economy to integrated economy. Next is sustainability is a transition from the idea of conflicting with the nature to compatible with nature. So as we discussed in the last slide, we can coexist in productive harmony. It is like same. It is an idea or transition from conflicting with the nature to compatible with nature. So here we are not in conflict with the nature. We are not overriding on nature. Rather, we are coexisting with nature, compatible with nature. Sustainability is a transition from a linear flow of resources to a circular flow of resources. So as we discussed in the environmental factor, in the circular economy, reduce, reuse, recycle. Here also we are discussing the same thing, circular flow of resources. Sustainability is a transition from fossil fuel to renewable fuel. So we discussed that various kind of renewable energy sources are there. And earlier we used to use the traditional sources of energy like coal, petrol, diesel, like that. Now we are migrating to more and more on the solar power, wind power, renewable sources of energy. There is a risk of climate change if sustainability is ignored. Sustainability is based on the principle that everything we need for our survival and well-being depends either directly or indirectly on our natural environment. Sustainability is a transition from short-term thinking to long-term thinking. So this is when we are talking about sustainability, we are talking for the long term, nothing short term here. Yeah. So we have studied about ESG and sustainability. Now some people confuse sustainability with CSR also. So let us understand. We have understood the ESG and we have understood the sustainability concept. Now let us see what is CSR, how it is different from sustainability. So CSR is corporate social responsibility. Sustainability is more than CSR. How? CSR pertain to CSR pertain to what we do with profits, right? So CSR is what we do with profits, but sustainability pertains to how we make profits. So when we are talking about how we are making profits, that means we are discussing about sustainability. But when we are talking about spending that profit, that means utilizing that profit, that means we are talking about CSR. We need to understand and agree that sustainability is not an upgrade of CSR. Rather, it is beyond CSR. How? Thinking about how business should be run and how profit should be earned. So, how business should be run and profit should be earned will be sustainability. We are environmental and social impact of your organization while running your business will be covered under sustainability. So, what are environmental and social impact of your action while running your business will be covered under sustainability. So, we are studying what businesses are doing and how they are running the business, how they are making the profits. So these type of concept, these type of business operations are covered under sustainability. But what we do with that profit which has already been earned is CSR. Now we have discussed till now we have discussed ESG, we have discussed sustainability, we have discussed CSR. Now, another important topic is SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, which we are going to discuss. So, ESG has three factors, which is environmental factor, social factor, and governance factor. And there are 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And this slide in front of you is talking about mapping of Sustainable Development Goals with environmental, social, and governance factor of ESG. So if you see the first block, which is of environment, there are 8 sustainable development goals which are pertaining to environment. Goal number 6, SDG we call goal also, right? Global goals we call SDG. So goal number 6, 7, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 are there which are pertaining to environment and sitting in the environment block. Then social factor. Within social factor, there are 11, total 11 sustainable development goals or global goals, which is goal number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, and 12 and 16. And then within governance, again, there are 8 goals sitting, which is goal number 5, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 16, and 17. Yeah. Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. So alignment of ESG strategies with SDG is important. Whatever we have mentioned with reference to as sustainability is derived from the Sustainable Development Goals. And it is better to have a high level overview of these goals. So since our course is not pertaining to SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, our course is pertaining to ESG and sustainability. So we are just having overview of just a minute. Yeah. So United Nations UN adopted in 2015 17 Sustainable Development Goals, also known as global goals. So these 17 goals are having 169 targets. So like we have 17 goals, 1 to 17, and under each goal we have certain targets, number of targets. So total 169 targets are there to tackle the world's most pressing environmental, social, and economic challenges after due deliberation and negotiations. And these are relevant for business and to be achieved by year 2030. So total there are 17 sustainable development goals which were adopted by United Nations UN in 2015, and total 17 goals have 169 targets, and they decided UN decided that these goals are to be achieved by all countries and companies by year 2030, before 2030 or before. Primary call to action was to end poverty and to save the planet and achieving overall global harmony, peace and prosperity in the entire world by the year 2030. Yeah. So what are these 17 goals? So we are just having a small goals list here. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, then industry, innovation and infrastructure, reducing inequality, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, and partnership for the goals. 17 number. Now, after discussing ESG, sustainability, CSR, SDG, now we are moving on the ESG importance again and ESG trends. So, what are the global trends on the ESG? Why ESG and sustainability are the hot topics now? That every company is requiring ESG or sustainability professional in some way or the other, some role or the other role. And why everyone want to study this? Let us understand the trends. ESG has become more important because we are experiencing the true impact of climate change now with reference to extreme weather conditions like heat wave, droughts, flood, etc. Discussion in the boardroom with reference to ESG are increasing. However, as of now, there are very few companies who are working on ESG to ensure that company is complying with the regulators' requirements. So different countries have different regulators. So suppose if we are talking about India, we have Securities Exchange Board of India, SEBI, which is a regulator for this ESG framework. And if we talk about the US, we have Securities Exchange Commission, SEC. As per the World Economic Forum, WEF, environmental issues, that is, issues pertaining to climate change, covering climate action failure, extreme weather, natural and human-made environmental disasters, and biodiversity losses, water crisis, among others, have got more importance and significance in last 1 decade due to climate change. So more and more climate change related disasters are happening like heat wave, drought, flood, etc. Requirement of ESG and sustainability reporting in the boardroom are increasing. Though many companies are not complying or not reporting under ESG as of now, but very soon major large companies will be reporting, and in some countries even voluntary reporting by the SMEs are also there. Now, top global risk. What are the top global risks as per the World Economic Forum? These are top global risks related to climate change. So these are environmental, geopolitical, social, technological, and economic risk. So which are top global risk? Environmental, geopolitical, social, technological, and economic risk. So let us discuss. Within environmental risk, biodiversity losses are there, climate action failure, extreme weather, human-made environmental disasters, and natural disasters are there. Then geopolitical, global governance failure are there, interstate conflict are there, national governance failure are there, state collapse, terrorist attack, weapon of mass destruction. These all are there, environmental, geopolitical risk. Then next is social, failure of urban planning, food crisis, infectious disease, involuntary migration, social instability, water crisis. So these are various kind of social risk. Next is technological risk. Adverse technological advances, cyber attack, data fraud or theft, information infrastructure breakdown. So these are technological risk. Then economic risk, asset bubble, critical infrastructure failure, deflation, energy price shock, then financial failure, fiscal crisis, illicit trade, unemployment, unmanageable inflation. So these are economic risk. So we just covered quickly all these risks because you should be aware about all the linking and mapping, because in like 45 minutes to 1 hour we cannot cover ESG or sustainability related topic in depth. But yes, I can try at least to connect the dots. I can try to remove some doubts that why ESG, sustainability, CSR, SDGs are not same, and what are these concepts. At least conceptual clarity we can have. And also we would like to discuss some risk, global risk, which we just covered, and also the trends and importance of ESG, why ESG is growing nowadays, why it is in huge demand. Then sustainable products are also in trend globally. So we would like to quickly cover this aspect also. People or consumers are nowadays after the sustainable product, green product, eco-friendly product, environment-friendly products. So customers are ready to pay more. Even companies are not able to supply as per the demand. So apart from companies and countries concerned about the reporting and ranking for sustainability, customers are also concerned about the planet and sustainability. Customers are placing greater emphasis on sustainability and related products. That means they are also now more concerned about the environment aspect, and accordingly they are ready to buy the eco-friendly products. There is a significant growth in the market for sustainable products, and consumers are becoming more educated about the environmental and social impact of the products they buy or consume. 65% people responded that they are willing to pay more for products from companies that are committed to sustainable business practices. Likewise, in another survey, it was reported that significant global paradigm shift in how consumer view sustainability and their increased willingness to pay for sustainable product. 85% of consumers have become greener in their purchasing in recent years, as per the survey by Business Wire. One third of 250 business executives surveyed by Accenture said that they could not keep up with consumers' demand for sustainable products. So many businesses reported that they are not able to fulfill the demand from the consumer side. Companies must act accordingly as per these trends. Then impact investing. So after discussing ESG, sustainability, SDG, CSR, global risk, and the trends in ESG and trends in the sustainable products, now we are discussing very important thing, which is impact investing. So you must have heard about impact investing, what it is. So impact investing refers to investments made into any company with the objective to generate a measurable positive impact on society and environment while getting a good financial return. So when any investor is making impact investment, it does not mean that investor is only focusing on the impact. They are not focusing on the financial returns. No, this is not the case. They are, while they are focusing on the financial return, they are also focusing on the environmental and social impact of the money which they are giving to the company or to the investee. Impact investing and ESG are not same. Like you may be confused or you may mix both the things, but they both are not same, because where ESG is set of criteria or factor what is ESG? ESG is a criteria or factors or reporting framework. Impact investing is a strategy. So impact investing is not the criteria or factor, it is a strategy for decision making, which is not necessarily may be focused on financial gain. Rather, there may be more focus on positive environmental and social impact. So ESG and impact investment both are not same, because when in ESG is set of criteria or set of factors, impact investing is a strategy which not necessarily may be focused on only financial return, rather positive social and environmental impact. So quickly let us discuss one report by EY Ernst& Young. As per a report by EY, investors are focusing more on ESG risk. As per that report, over 80% of investors surveyed agreed that businesses should focus more on long-term value creation rather than short-term dividend payout. So, what investor focus is now moving from the financial return to impact, from short-term dividend payout to long-term value creation. Nowadays investors have changed, so they are called impact investors, where they are not only looking at the dividend payout or dividend checks, rather they are looking for the long term value creation. So these are the survey questions over the long term ESG issue, ranging from climate change to diversity to board effectiveness. Generating sustainable return over time require a sharper focus not only on governance but also on the, so we have already covered all these things. Public company CEOs should lay out an explicit strategy each year for long-term value creation and directly affirm that company's board has reviewed it. Then ESG and investment professional. So why demand for ESG and investment professional is increasing, and why there is a huge skill gap, and due to that skill gap people are not easily available for filling the vacant position in companies for ESG and investment professionals. So that is why we are discussing ESG in this rigor way. So investment professional apply ESG factors and sustainability related knowledge in their decision making while studying any company before making any investment. So what ESG investors are doing, ESG investors have deployed some professionals to study companies before making any investment. However, doing this is not an easy task and there is a big gap of skill because these professionals need specific skills and mindset to make investment decision based on ESG strategies and practices. And ESG practices are continuously becoming more and more useful and relevant for investment professionals and investors who apply ESG knowledge and skill in their day-to-day decision making and various other roles. So we discussed the gap. Now, what is the solution? Solution is upskilling is necessary for these professionals so that skill gap can be filled. Expectation of the firms which employ these professionals and analysts are increasing day by day due to increase of expectation of various stakeholders looking after the domain of impact investment. These professionals can then integrate ESG factors into their investment process. Apart from investors and investment professional, ESG issues and factors are also suitable to learn for people who work in. So till now we discussed that ESG factors, ESG investment strategies are important to study for ESG investors or impact investors. But apart from impact investors or professionals, who else are required to study ESG? Like people who are working in the domain of risk and financial consulting, sales and distribution, wealth management, product development, or anyone who want to improve his or her understanding about the subject. Since this is an entirely new field of study, there is no need to hesitate to ask from your colleague in industry or checking with industry expert. Now, you must have heard about ESG rating provider. So as ESG or sustainability demand is growing in companies, more and more requirement are also coming from the ESG rating provider. ESG rating provider, we call it ERPs also. So there are more than 600 ESG ratings globally. However, we have produced the list of few companies, few global companies like MSCI ESG rating, Sustainalytics ESG risk rating, then CDP Climate Change 2020 scoring methodology rating, S&P Global ESG score, and FTSE Russell ESG rating. So there are many more ESG rating providers. So what they do, these company ESG rating provider company provide ratings to the companies, and companies need ratings for their investors. They have to report. So we are 10,000 members global community on LinkedIn, and we have just started and completed fifth batch today, and all are requested to stay in the session till they complete their assessments. So I will ask my team member to share link of the assessment where there will be 10 simple to intermediate level questions, not very tough questions, because this is a ESG fundamental program. So there will be 10 simple to intermediate level questions which you need to answer, and depending upon your passing marks, you will be released certificates by end of the day. And also I will ask my team member to share various kind of links to the like social media handle or channels like YouTube channel, LinkedIn pages and LinkedIn profiles, and also the Instagram page, so that you can be updated on various kind of ESG and sustainability related latest knowledge, because we are sharing latest and updated, like till yesterday what happened globally till 31st March we have shared on our social media channels, so that you can be aware. And also this certification program free course will continue on different topics. You can keep following for next important free course, which is a certificate program we'll be launching very soon. Also, if you are interested to deep dive very deep